Hi everyone, and welcome back to Up Next, a production of Outside Noise. I'm Carrie, and I'm joined as always by my beautiful and talented co-host Kalen. And today, real casual style, we're going to sit down real quick and talk about music that came out this weekend that we have sat with and listened to briefly, and talk about what we're excited about. How's it going?
Usually we say beautiful and intelligent.
Yeah, I forgot.
That's okay.
I forgot the second word.
I was worried it was like a read or something.
No.
Well, that's
beautiful and talented.
Beautiful, talented, intelligent. I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'll say it.
Yeah, we have a few albums to talk about today. We're also not in our usual set that we've been doing.
Oh, yeah. We're in the this is where we usually sit when we do the pod with all four of us.
And I'm in Michael's seat today.
Ooh, and I'm in Julia's seat.
And we're using our fancy microphones.
Yeah, maybe it'll sound a little better. We're working on it.
Who wants to go first? Do you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I'll go first. Do we want to do our science moment? We have aligned in theme a little bit inadvertently. The first project that I am really excited about that I listened to is by Carr and Matt Atkins. It's called Organelles. You can find it on Bandcamp. It is what they describe as speculative microsound on the function of organelles, which are the things that make up cells. So teeny tiny functions.
Yes, I love framing this as speculative.
Yes,
that's really fun to be like this. Obviously, we all know that this isn't really what these things actually sound like.
Yeah.
I'm just leaning into the imagination.
Yeah, and they're talking very much about like the actions of the things. They say folding proteins, exchanging gases, creating energy, growing, dividing. Like, so these are all sort of actions that have inspired the sounds that they're putting in. Each song is like after one of the organelles. There's like mitochondria, of course, ribosomes, Golgi apparatus, and stuff like that. I just think it's a really fun structure for an album. They talk too about how so often these are visually explained to us, and like the functions of them are shown in video or diagram in a textbook or whatever. And so they wanted to try their hand at like a sound version of it. And I think it's really cool. I've had a lot of fun with it.
Yes, I love the that's such a fun inspiration too, and it definitely lends itself to some very evocative sonic imagery here. Lots of weird squelching, but
for example, go ahead, sorry.
No, it's fine.
For example, the lysosome I learned in class, the pneumatic, it's a slicosome because it digests.
Okay, so
it's
like
slicing up the food. Yeah, and that song is very slicosome, if I do say so myself.
I love that.
Yeah,
and you know, isn't it nice to learn something?
It's so good to learn. Listen, in these dark times.
Yes, in these dark times,
it's important to keep learning.
Yeah,
and the mitochondria, it's very powerhouse of the cell energy, of course.
But more than that, it's beyond just the mitochondria. I haven't heard of most of this stuff. I need to learn.
What? This is like one of my favorite units in biology and stuff. I like learning about the cells.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Is it time to move on to my
Yeah, go for it.
Okay,
Talk about your science thing.
Yes, so I'm talking about Tony Price's Requiem for the Ontario Science Centre. This is an experimental jazz, noise, and electronic record that is literally a requiem for the now defunct Ontario Science Centre. And the artist talks about in the liner notes going there as a kid and being fascinated by like every turn and nook and cranny of this place, which I related to a lot also as a kid who loved science museums. And it's so optimistic and uplifting, and the liner notes talk about this more too, the building being established in the 60s. They say during a period of utopian optimism when the future feels more like a opportunity and like exciting versus today where it feels like, quote, a crisis to be managed.
Right.
And that was really, I was like, wow. That's
very powerful. Yeah.
Very powerful. And the album is so wonderful, and it kind of speaks to that like retrofuturistic the shiny tinfoil future of the Jetsons.
I was gonna say the Jetsons, very much so. And it's funny that it's a requiem. That's typically it's a funeral sort of song, and so you expect something just sort of tender and heartbreaking. It is tender, but like you said, overall uplifting. Really like commemorating this place of learning, and when you're a kid, the Science Museum just being like fascinating and so cool. And yeah, sort of futuristic as well. It has a great balance, and it's really fun how all of the tracks unfold. The first track especially I really enjoy, and how it starts off very digital and minimal, and then it just sort of blossoms into this jazzy thing that goes into psychedelia. It's so beautiful.
Very like space jazz. Any fans of like Sun Ra will probably like this, but it's also pulling from some of the electronic stuff too. So we get a little bit of like
Plantasia.
Plantasia.
Yeah.
It's very like better living through chemistry kind of vibes.
Yeah.
So it's really wonderful and heartfelt and touching and beautiful for our jazz heads and our noise heads and everyone in between.
Cool. Super cool.
And what's your next record?
My next record is in Polish, so
You got this.
I don't think I got this. I think Google might have to got this.
Maybe not.
I don't got this.
Okay.
We're
getting
I
Google
should have gotten
Translate.
this ready, guys. Sorry.
It's okay. We're gonna get the Google Translate on the track.
Tell me.
She's thinking about it.
Miało przyjść, a nie przyszłoby IHIH.
Okay. IHIH is the band name.
IHIH. I don't know.
And I'm not gonna try the first half, but
No.
we'll put that in the YouTube video description and in the Spotify description so that you can easily find this piece. Tell me about it.
This is another tangent. We checked in on my Swedish Duolingo on the pod a few weeks ago, but if I've learned anything, is that it's nothing like Polish is a whole other beast. Anyway. This is really cool stuff. It's beautiful instrumental slowcore.
Okay.
We've talked about slowcore projects occasionally and sort of the line being blurred. Like, is there a difference between slowcore and just like down tempo indie music? And I feel like this is a strong contender for like a true slowcore. It's instrumental, and it just sort of follows these really beautiful ideas, just sort of intertwined together. There's not much of a story behind it that I can tell because it's in Polish and it's instrumental and there's no liner notes. But it's wonderful. It's one of the more engaging instrumental albums I've come across. I'm excited to dive into it further, but just really beautiful storytelling. Really.
Can we translate the name of the album?
It's
since we have Google Translate, conveniently
it was
pulled up
supposed
here.
to come, but it didn't come.
And I'm looking at the picture of the album cover, some might call this. It looks like a package
it's like a mail locker
room.
Yeah.
So I want. Is this about not getting your package? Can we also while we've got this pulled up, can we get a translation of the of the song titles as well?
Okay.
Do a quick little copy
for sure.
paste.
I love this investigative journalism.
I do this usually whenever I find a foreign language album.
I do with like the title and stuff, but 30 degrees and no trees. Really hoping to get some rest. E.T. Surprise for future self. Survivors.
Huh.
Maybe it is about getting a package.
Maybe it's about getting a package that feel
Very
when you don't
poetic.
get your package.
Oh, I would love that. I don't know if that's right at all. If you're the artist, chime in on this interpretation. It's really sweet.
Yeah.
They have an Instagram. I don't know. But it's great. Oh, yeah, it's out on Opus Elephantum Collective, indie music label out of Poland.
Oh yeah, they put out some cool stuff. I think we've covered maybe a few other things from them before.
Cool. Well,
that's
yeah,
great.
definitely. Yeah, no, I guess in-depth points about this one, but it's a really good time. You should check it out.
Cool. Up next, I am going to talk about an album that I was very excited to see on my list this week that I did not know was coming out. It's the new Dax Riggs record, Seven Songs for Spiders.
You were telling me about this.
Yes, I was yapping your ear off about this album.
No, it's just that I don't really know about this guy or care about Acid Bath that much.
That's fine.
But I'm sure we have some fans that do, that are also very excited about this.
So this artist, like you mentioned, was the frontman for the now defunct New Orleans kind of crust punk crossover thrash sort of band, Acid Bath. And that band disbanded like in the early 2000s, and they were going to kind of get the group back together for Sick New World Festival in Vegas.
Oh yes.
Which was slated to take place later this year, but it was canceled. Probably, well, that's a different story.
That's a different story for a
but
different time.
it
We
was
should do a
canceled.
mini series on YouTube about festivals.
About festivals. Interesting.
Iconic music fests.
Okay, I love that.
Flops.
We'll put a pin in that.
Okay.
Um,
It's like Sick
So,
New World.
yes.
Because
Yeah,
there's
like
drama,
Sick New
there's tea.
there's some tea. We won't be spilling currently. Well, we can go ahead and get into it. Do you want to?
I don't know too much about it. It was a Live Nation thing.
It was a Live
that
Nation
got-
thing. It was kind of like the fucked up older brother to When We Were Young.
Yeah.
It's more of the like metal and new metal kind of event.
They're just so twisted and gritty.
Yeah, very sick and twisted. Welcome to my sick and twisted new world. And
Right
I
before
think there were some
Christmas.
issues with ticket sales.
Yeah.
But this
Almost certainly.
I think last year went pretty good as far as I'm aware, but the headliner for this year was Metallica, which is crazy because they tour all the time. It's
Yeah.
not like, oh man, you saw Metallica,
I feel like everyone's seen
Everyone's
Metallica.
seen it.
I haven't
It's
seen Metallica.
and
but-
they're playing like every other festival, and the ticket prices are crazy, and I think was just a single day festival too, and it just really didn't seem worth it. So I'm not surprised if they didn't sell a lot of tickets. I think it was still a pretty good lineup, but just the headliner didn't have the draw.
Yeah.
And it's really expensive. And anyway,
Yeah,
we're
live
way
events,
off
live events,
topic.
live events.
We're way off topic about this Stax Riggs album. So he, since Acid Bath was kind of gone on hiatus following the death of one of the band members, the frontman put out a few solo albums and did things with other groups too, but he's been lying pretty dormant for the past like 15 years or so. So when I saw this release, I was like, oh, he put out new
hi.
music for the
Yeah.
first time in 15 years. That's awesome, because that I was not listening to music like this 15 years ago when I was like
okay,
10.
yeah. Oh, when you were 10.
Yeah,
Of course. And so now you're into it, and he just happens to be back. You're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's
Yeah.
not quite like on the same level as like the My Chemical Romance reunion,
Right.
but it was like, oh, I'm excited
Cool.
this band that I've loved for many, many years is now doing things again. And this, I like this album. What
does it sound like?
It is described as like swamp rock, so think kind of like sludgy. Also has a little bit of like the new metal influence, but this is fairly understated.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, it's interesting that it does have a little new metal, but it's not like as big and like in your face almost. as new metal.
There's some like roots influence, there's some blues influence,
Yeah,
there's
for
some
sure.
like kind of southern. I noted
Very
this
much.
is for
I was like dirty boots and yeah.
I have noted this is for smoking dirt weed in Lafayette Parish out the back of the 7-Eleven with your manager on the night shift.
Love.
This dude's songwriting has not changed since
he
the
play
90s.
at Muddy Roots?
I would love to see him play at Muddy Roots. I
Okay.
would love to see him play at Punk Rock Campout. I would
Okay.
love to see. That's the other thing, because the Sick New World was canceled. I was like, so is Acid Bath doing any dates? Are they
Like,
gonna?
So are you like free or?
Oh yeah, like are you free? Are you gonna do it anyway? Yeah. So this is great. It's a very nostalgic sound. But that's also not to say that it's like derivative or played out, because this guy's songwriting is so singular and it pulls from a lot of different references. Like I mentioned, the like kind of rootsy stuff and
Yeah.
like sludgy, like sludge metal.
And when you are a musician that is in like a pretty like big, I guess I don't know.
I would say they're iconic.
Okay,
yeah. Well,
iconic
they
band,
were
yeah.
kind of a part of the scene with like I Hate God and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
If you're like a part of that like 90s like crusty,
Well, and you're like
grungy
an
kinda-
established musician who then goes on break. You're obviously good at it, and then you have 15 years of ideas
yeah
to play off of. No, it's amazing. That probably means it could be pretty good.
it's good stuff.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
that's
Check it out.
That's a sleigh.
It's a sleigh. Yeah, so I've been listening to that
Cool.
one a lot. Been getting in my feels. It's very sad. It's sad.
It's
and,
I would say it has some downer
It's kind
vibes.
of like gothy too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, it's also, if you're not like smoking dirt weed in the back of the 7-Eleven, it's also, or like you're like at a graveyard.
Ooh, okay. I like
Yeah.
it. I like
and you're
it.
like trip pants
Oh shit.
Anyway,
Under
so
the
that's
bridge?
I think I've said enough about this.
No, that's a good
album.
vibe. You've set it up.
Cool.
You've teed us all up to enjoy it.
Yes, yeah, for your expectation.
I have one more album to talk about.
Cool.
Yay! It's Transition by TV Dust. This one is one that you showed me actually, but I will talk about it a little bit.
Go for it.
It's cool. This band has had 4 EPs out, so they're just like throwing spaghetti, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a full album. There's 11 tracks, and it's really fun. It's definitely kraut punk, which we were talking earlier. We're like, so what does that even mean? But it's just like, it's got that charged energy, kind of frenetic, but not a little jangly, but not pop. More punk.
It's pretty minimal too. The sound
Yes,
isn't,
yeah.
we're
They
not
call
hitting
it
you with a wall
skeletal.
of sound. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like the skeletal description for this, and very percussion driven.
Percussion driven and jazz, and they have
That too.
some really great jazz going on as well.
That definitely makes this record stand out too. Not a lot of kraut stuff is like jazz influence.
Not
so-
like inherently, I
Yeah.
feel like it pulls on it though.
It can
And we might
sometimes.
get some guys and some mansplaining in the comments.
I don't know. I'm not super familiar.
I'm
with
not a
kraut
kraut
rock
head like
as
that,
a
but I really
genre. I
liked
need to do
this.
my music history lessons.
I think just because it is a little skeletal, angular, just bare bones, I guess is a good way to put it. Really fun, really well balanced. Out on Maple Death Records. Been loving that stuff. We have a couple threads going on this week. We have some psychedelia happening, and jazz, and science.
I love it.
Yeah, those are our intentions. Those are our manifestations for the week.
Is it time to get like really, really psychedelic though? Is it time to get really weird with it?
Tell me.
Let's talk about this album. It is called Aniara by David Dellacroce, Relay Station, and Infinite Nap Your Sun's Sin Fountain Spilling Emptiness into a Void.
Oh.
So it's a collaboration between a few artists. And this is a space opera
Okay.
inspired by the...
That's such an interesting way to put it from what I've heard of it.
Yes. Well, it's inspired by a science fiction epic poem that was written in the 1950s. In fact, scratch that. It is a retelling of this poem.
Okay.
Word for word. So it's not just inspired by, but it...
It's an
an
oral
operatic
performance.
Yes.
Of
this poem. Combined with very far out electronics and like plucky experimental guitar
Is this the one
work.
that's by the Challenging Music Ensemble?
By the Difficult Music Ensemble.
The Difficult Music Ensemble, which is a wonderful creative practice. It's a
Yes.
well-worthy pursuit. I'm very happy to see it. Weird singing, weird sounds, weird tempo.
They're really going for it. And I thought that I have a lot to say about the Eugene Difficult Music Ensemble and the Museum of Viral Memory, with whom they are affiliated and who put out this album. So they're sort of a label and an artist collective and an ongoing high art avant-garde project that has been operating for many years now. I think about 30 years if their website is accurate. I don't know how much of this is
It could just be lore.
I don't know how much of this is like self-mythologizing or how much is true, which is also wonderful.
Yes,
It
I
delights
love
me.
that.
And this album is captivating. It inspired me to do more research into the poem that it's based on as well. And it's very like poignant for things that are happening now, which I often find in science fiction is
kind of timeless in that way.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And like we said too, speculative kind of ideas about what's happening now. And I love this group. I love when lots and lots of people get together to make a project. It seems like this has been an ongoing project for many years.
How many people are part of the ensemble?
Well, here's a list here.
Oh my god, there's like 200 names on this Bandcamp list.
Yeah, there
like
were
actually
a lot of people involved. Many
You're
people
still
are listed
scrolling.
as muses. Someone's
okay.
We have a lot of oboe players, piccolo, piano,
muse.
percussion.
Can I be
all
a
manner.
muse?
Someone's listed as playing all manner of stones.
I love it.
Trombones. The one who hears trombones.
Oh my god, they're just letting anybody in here.
Viola, violin.
Do you think I could get a credit on this album if I asked?
I think if you jumped in, yeah. So they did the first 5 cantos of the poem, and there are 103. So they will be continuing to add to this album. Again, it's Aniara by David Dellacroce, Relay Station, and I'll just say Infinite for the last artist. And I wanted to talk about too, I found that this record label, I guess, has a subscription option on their Bandcamp page. I didn't know that you could set up a subscription option on Bandcamp, but you can, and it's $5 a month, and they say once a month you will receive the right to send us something you would like to adapt for the Noisekestra. Even the right to suggest instrumentation, symphonic, solo instruments, string quartets. Although we reserve the right to ignore this suggestion, if the muses make a different suggestion, we cannot anger the muses. You may send us a word, a movie, a song, a book, an emotion, an uncomfortable situation, a newspaper article, the wet, stinking detritus of an alien autopsy, whatever. And we will then send you an interpretation dreamt madly from the minds of sentimental witches and performed by Una Person's Orchestra or the Dahlgren String Quartet or Titus Groan's Organ Damaged or any thousands of other groups we have in mind to someday create. You will get a collaborator credit, and you can request to be included in the collaboration in some way if you wish, though we are not sure exactly how that will work. It will be an experiment. So,
wow.
These will not be private tracks. They will be likely collected on the site somewhere. So it is not the right to the track per se that you're purchasing, but the right to commission a work from us on an unholy schedule.
They're saying you don't have the right to the song. Yeah. That's amazing. I love that.
Yes.
And I love that they're like, yeah, you jump in here with us and go on this musical journey. I love the idea of like, yeah, recording your own part and sending it to them.
Amazing.
And being like, make a song. Go do it.
So
That's
I don't know
cool.
if you want a collaborator credit on this work. I'm not sure if you could
not
swing
this
it.
one. No, not retroactively, unless I become a muse. I'm very interested in that position.
Yeah, I think you can become a muse if you subscribe to them for, I think it's only $5 a month for this service. Let me double check. Yes, it is $5 a month or more.
Wow. That's amazing.
Amazing. What if you could commission a piece from them? Do you have anything top of mind that you would request? You would go for? Sorry, I kind of sprung that question on you. I didn't give you.
I'm thinking about stuff,
one.
and I'm like, nah, not that.
It's a big one to commission a piece from such esteemed musicians.
What would you do?
I don't know. I'm looking at this beautiful unicorn tapestry behind
like
us,
this,
and I'm almost wondering something like that. I picture
as like a
taming of the
starting
unicorn
point.
kind of moment.
I love that. I was thinking like rubber bands.
Ooh, I
was
like
like,
that.
nah. Okay, yeah, but it could be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fruitful. Well, if you get any big ideas, then it's right there. It seems very accessible and easy to
be like,
to get
hey,
involved.
make me this. People are like, oh, but AI. Who am I supposed to get in touch with to make my thing when I can make a robot do it for me? Musicians and artists are literally like, please give us something to chew on. Yeah. Become a patron of the arts.
Literally become a patron of arts. Yes.
And it will be well worth it. This is a beautiful album.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right. I think that's it for me. Do you have anything else to add?
It was an interesting week.
Yeah.
I feel like it was drier in some ways, but I feel like I really enjoy what I found. Fun to kind of sink your teeth into something a little different.
Yeah. I think usually we get to that point in the year where everything coming out is either very bland or super, super experimental, and there's not a lot of in between.
We're gearing up for summer releases, for songs of the summer soon.
Soon. It's still January.
No, but people are going to be releasing them. That's why they're not releasing them now.
That's true. We're hibernating. We're waiting.
We're doing weird shit. We're playing around, which I love. What's one thing that's coming up this week that you're excited for?
We are going to, I think we're going to like a David Lynch movie watch party thing on Wednesday that I'm looking forward to. My heart still hurts. I think this will be cathartic for me.
Yeah, that's one of the things on my list as well.
Awesome.
Is the David Lynch watch party with their friends. I think that's going to be a really good time. And I have volleyball this weekend. I didn't this weekend, or like yesterday basically. Yeah, but I do this weekend. So looking forward to that as well.
Great.
I hope you guys have something you're looking forward to this week.
I hope you like one of these albums that we talked about.
Yeah.
Awesome. Bye.
Did we do it?
I think we did it.
I think we did it. Okay. We didn't plug anything. We have a Patreon. We sell tapes.
Nah.
We're on Instagram.
You can figure it out.
Should we whatever, man? I think we'll have a business
Whatever,
meeting
man.
later.
If
I'm talking about
someone,
social media.
like,
I'm over it.
I'm over it. No, we have a mailing list for real. If you're over social media as well, we have an email mailing list.
Yes,
newsletters. It's not super active, but
We
maybe
post
it
about
will be.
sometimes.
Maybe it will be increasingly active. We have our website, so you can unplug,
and
log
stay
off.
up to date that way. Yeah,
Go
I've seen a
outside.
lot of people I follow on my personal Instagram quitting Instagram this
Yeah.
week. Yeah, people are leaving. So
It's over.
and I'm kind of down for that. If we all just get off of it, is the thing.
I like Instagram.
I do
but
too, but it's not good for you. You know it's not good for you.
It's
So,
not.
anyway.
I'm going to go after this. I'm going to officially delete my X account.
Yeah,
I've had the app
that's
off
over.
of my phone for years, but the account is still floating out in the void, and I need it nixed.
You need to
need
create like a curse bottle.
I need closure.
You need
I
to
love
print it
that.
out and put it in a bottle with some ground pepper and like a lit
like
match.
some vinegar.
Yeah, and like shake it up, buried in the
Spit in it.
ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Well,
All
we're
right.
gonna go do that. Have a great week.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye.